Hey everybody, how's it going? We're here with a timeless reading. Welcome. Okay, first cards that we have out are Nine of Cups and Three of Wands. It looks like you're very focused on something here. Nine of Cups is being in a place where you feel more aware of what it is that you want. You can be feeling more in touch with your heart space. To have Three of Wands here, there can also be a feeling of like knowing where you want things to go too. There can be some feelings of doubt that you're experiencing or like reasons why, but this is just an opportunity for you to change your frame of reference here, because I'm seeing that sort of be what would be the blocking factor. To have Five of Swords here be in the middle of this, it's like in order for you to sort of get where it is that you want to go, to be where you want to be now, and also for that to be in alignment in the future too, having Five of Swords here, this is about needing to shift the narrative in some way. So wherever you feel like you have reservations, where there's resistance to like your belief in this, where you feel like your pattern of thinking could be getting in the way of this, it's about changing those things to have Five of Swords here. So it's like you don't have to stay in this type of attitude looking at those things, because this can be tapping into a part of yourself that's like, I don't know if that's possible, or I feel like I have to force my way through this instead of things are going to support it, like instead of being in that space. But on the other side of this is the Ten of Cups. So if you can be in a place of sort of changing your thinking, it shows that this is something that's going to be able to express itself through you. So that being something important here. There can also be a motivation to get to the bottom of why you may have certain beliefs that would support a belief system that's connected with like things not going your way when you're trying to go in a certain direction with a Five of Swords here. Because Five of Swords is an energy where we feel like we have to look out for ourselves, and that like what we want isn't going to be supported, and so we sort of need to just think about ourselves and make our own moves. But it's something that actually ends up blocking us, surprisingly and ironically. So it's about changing the thinking when it comes to that. This looks like it's connected with what you're currently working on, what you have been working on. I'm seeing you've also been making a lot of progress with things. It seems too like you're in a position where like when things are coming up for you that you feel like you're connected to, whether it be like a feeling or like in the heart space, however it is that you're sort of interpreting this, is sort of like having this system where you're weighing things and being like, how important is this? Or maybe important isn't the right word. It can be like how much is this thing actually resonating with me from the heart space? So this is about like what you really want. And when I say one, I mean that it holds weight, it holds importance to you on a feeling level. Like there's resonance. So there can be something in front of you and there won't really be like a draw to that, but then there will be other things that sort of pop up in front of you and you'll feel really pulled in that direction. So those are the things that are really resonating with you for some reason. And having Two of Pentacles here feels like figuring out the weight of each thing that comes in. So it's like when you have something appearing that's resonating with you on some level, it seems like it's about maybe like putting these things into some type of category for you. It feels like from most highest resonance to maybe a lesser resonance, and that's going to help you know what to focus on and what to prioritize. But I'm seeing this as like already a system that's in development for you. It's just something that's still, it seems like, being figured out in some way. I want to clarify more about this Five of Swords, see where this is coming from. Five of Swords can be perceived like lack of support within the environment. It can be feeling like, especially from like those around you, it can be feeling like people aren't supporting you or not understanding. Okay, Five of Pentacles can be like about feeling isolated. It can be about feeling misunderstood, feeling a lack of support in general. So this can kind of be the takeaway when our perspective is that like we're not getting the help that we need. And then how we look at things from that perspective of like other things are against me, like in that way. And it doesn't need to be so like blatantly obvious too. When this is coming up, it may be coming up in more subtle ways for you, where if you like actually really think about it, where you're feeling resistance or where it's like that's not going to be possible for me, and you actually look into it, it's just tied to this belief system. So know that it can come up in these really subtle ways that are hard to even, they don't always seem obvious. But if you're in a space of reflection, you're really going to be able to see where this is, where there are doubts or resistance, or you not feeling like you sort of have what you need or have the support that you need to get to where you're trying to go. Because it also seems like there is a focus on you being present, but there's also a focus here on like where you're going and your future. And it seems like what you're trying to build or what you're trying to accomplish or what you're trying to manifest, those types of things, has to do with your movement energetically and what you've continuously been working on, and also like where you want that to go. Even if in your head you're not like, I need it to go there, it's sort of about just like the progress in and of itself, not that it needs to go in a certain way, but the recognition that it is moving and that it is growing. And also too, like maybe the criticism that you have of that as well, like you actually making progress and recognizing things. And like if you look at your life and where you are now in comparison to like maybe where you had been, you can look at things, and if you're like really looking at things from, I don't know, let's say like a couple years ago, or like in a very different situation that you could have been in the past, seeing you and where you are right now and being like, that's where I want to be. And it's maybe some of you don't even realize that that's actually where you are today. But I think that there's this notion with Five of Swords, you can be like not giving yourself enough credit or not even realizing this. It can be this feeling of like it's never good enough, or like there's always wanting the next thing. So there can be a lack of satisfaction because of that, with Nine of Cups and Three of Wands. So there's a recognition of like where you are, allowing that to be enough, to allowing yourself to be in a state of acceptance of like it doesn't need to be more, it doesn't need to be different, like it's perfect just the way that it is. And then also allowing space for growth and progress in whatever direction things are going to be moving in, or whatever way they want to be developing. And sort of taking this narrative out of things. Because it may really be dampering the way that you're looking at things, but it can be on a really subtle level, like on a level that may not feel super obvious to you. It just comes from anxiety, most of all. And it can be anxiety about changes that are happening. but it feels like the way that I'm seeing Five of Swords connecting with the Six of Swords, Five of Swords can be like issues that we have with things and like a lack of acceptance, and it can be resistance, it can be like feeling rigid, like not wanting to move the way that things are moving. I see Five of Swords as also being associated with judgment too, like of ourselves, but in a way of criticism and stuff like that. But then having Six of Swords, it shows you being in a space where you're like, I don't want to stay stuck in that mind frame anymore. Because this is also something that's like focused on the past too. And with a type of view that doesn't feel like it's at peace. And especially like having this be connected with so much green here, it's about like what needs to be done, and that's really opening up the heart space when we're looking back at things. Because Five of Swords comes from a place where it develops out of situations where we feel like we need to sort of close our hearts off in order to protect ourselves, but then it creates resistance in the present, and you wanting to move on from that too. So you don't have to stay in that space, like in that loop anymore, that loop of thinking. So it's allowing for the change to actually take place and allowing yourself to move forward rather than staying stuck. There can also be self-forgiveness that's tied into this too with Five of Swords. All right, let's get two more here. You're definitely moving forward with things. Okay. Things are gonna be breaking even for you. So you're going in the direction of Six of Pentacles, which is connected with reciprocity, but it's also connected with, it's not only like giving what you feel like you should give and receiving what you feel like you should receive. It's about like being in that space of really opening yourself up. And in really opening yourself up, it means that you can like really also receive things. Because you need to be open. You're not just going to receive things if you're not like actually open to it. And opening yourself up, meaning like giving yourself freely. When it comes to like your expression, when it comes to like your presence and your energy and what you're giving to. So it's really being in whatever it is that you're doing. And also doing things that you care about too, because it feels like this all loops back to the Nine of Cups, which is connected again with like this scale of what's most resonant versus what's less resonant. And how do I put those things like in the front for myself? Like those are the things that I'm focusing on. Those are the things that I'm tending to. Those are the things that I'm supposed to be like more involved with than other things. And it's figuring out like a system of priority based off of that, based off of like your feelings here. And that's also going to be associated then with what it is that you want to be doing. Some of you, there can be this, let me just use an example. There can be a stigma with the Five of Swords where it's like, I can't do stuff just for fun because then I'm being lazy or then I'm not being disciplined. It can be like things like that that are like these things that you've learned, these things that you've taken on that may actually be creating a sense of resistance to you doing things that feel fulfilling to you, because of sort of negating how it is that you're feeling and being like, my thinking mind is more important and me doing this, this, and this and getting ahead or whatever. But then you feel like your heart isn't involved in what you're doing. And I'm seeing you be in a space where you're trying to bring this to the forefront because this is something that matters to you now at this point, because of wanting to feel a sense of fulfillment and feeling like that's where you are on your journey right now. And it feels like not letting your thinking get in the way of this, but to really like open your heart and feel what it is that you're feeling. which when I say open your heart, I mean just like being in touch with what it is that you're sensing, what it is that you're feeling. And then having 10 of Cups and having 6 of Pentacles here, it shows this sense of fulfillment because you're aligned with your pursuit of, I feel like pursuit of happiness isn't even the right thing. It's like this pursuit of your heart in general. Because it's not even just happiness, it's like what feels right and what sits well with you and what feels like it's aligned, regardless of what it is. But there's a sense of peace within that when you're aligned in that way, especially emotionally, because of giving light to that and giving way to that as well. And having 6 of Pentacles here shows you being like in full reciprocity and full exchange with that. So ultimately it's like in full exchange with your heart chakra, which is just your ability to feel and to sense things. And to be expressing yourself in that way too. So maybe this is also something that you want to be sort of like bouncing off of you energetically. So this is going to be like an organizing system. It feels like it's coming down for those of you that you want to feel sort of like emotionally in touch with what it is that you're doing, regardless of what this is. Because to end over here with the Page of Wands, it shows that there's something that you're going to be doing that feels interesting to you, that when you look at this, you're like, something about that feels like it's calling me to walk this way, to walk down this path, and you're going to really feel like you get to explore yourself in a way that you want to explore yourself, in a way where there are like abilities that are connected with this. It feels like it's also connected with your like creative power, but that doesn't, for some of you that can mean like actually having a canvas or something in front of you, but for others of you it's about the way that you're going to be moving through your life, what you're connecting with and what you're getting in touch with. But it's going to allow you, more than anything, what this is all connecting to is leading you into the energy of the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands is somebody that's living their life in a way where they feel in tune and in touch because they're expressing themselves authentically. And feeling really self-assured because of that, and confident because of that, because of knowing that you're in flow with things. And knowing what that is for you. So it's really just being very in touch and moving in rhythm with that rather than in resistance. So this is going to like open up the path for you. So those of you that you may be in a spot where you're like, how do I make sure that I'm doing what I actually want to be doing, or what feels like it's aligned with me? It's about sort of cutting out this middleman that feels like it's connected with this like doubt or this negativity or this like I'm not going to be supported if I want to do this, or like the thoughts that you have around this that like really aren't letting you move this way, or like my dreams aren't possible, or that future isn't possible for me. But it's all about actually being in a space of cultivating like how do you actually want things to look, and recognizing that that is possible, even though there's definitely this feeling of doubt or this feeling of like it being irrational in some way, you know, those types of things. But it feels like a very pessimistic point of view, and it may just be something that it's like this voice of criticism. It may be something that only shows up sometimes. You may not feel it all the time, but it's in those times that you recognize it to sort of question it and get to the bottom of where it's coming from, and to also see it for what it is, to recognize it for what it is. Seems like it's going to help you decide. It's something about what you want to be like sharing, what you want to be expressing. Can be like, what do I want to say? what type of like energy do I want to be giving off. It can also be just the message that you're sending out to others, even like subliminally. So it can be you just doing something that's in alignment, and because of other people like feeling your vibes and feeling your energy when you're doing that, it's going to be like giving off a wave because of that. So it's not even, it's something that's going to be felt. It doesn't even need to be like explicitly spoken about, which is sort of a like, for some of you that may feel like a bit of an out there concept, but that's what I'm seeing this be connected with. So when you're prioritizing your heart space, it's giving a message to other people. It's like inspiring them to do the same. But it's through feelings, it's not through words. So it's not like you're having this talk with them. It's more so people being in a space of like watching you and observing you, and then feeling like from your heart to their heart something that is then going to like inspire that within them. I'm getting something about a butterfly effect. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I'm sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.